Hey everybody, it's me, Cyrus. Welcome to Epically Geeky Gaming. And today I'm talking about E3 once again, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. So we're talking about Ubisoft and Sony's press conferences, their presentations that they gave today. So I'm going to give you some of my thoughts. Ubisoft went first, so let's talk about Ubisoft first. And there's a lot to get through, but you know what? There was a lot there, and there was some surprises. So they start off with this huge surprise from Nintendo. Nintendo's working with Ubisoft. They've been working on this game that's kind of like Nintendo and Ubisoft's answer to like XCOM or Final Fantasy Tactics, something like that. Just looks interesting to me. Very interesting, very different, fun as hell. Just a unique combination of these licenses, Mario and Rabbids licenses, and yeah, it's exclusive to Switch. I think it sounds pretty cool. So obviously that was a surprise, and that was good. I'm happy to see that. I got a lot of notes here. I'm gonna go through. So they did show a little bit of Assassin's Creed Origins. They didn't show as much as I thought they would, but they did show some more, and the game looks beautiful. I really like the Egypt style, and at first I was kind of confused because yesterday we saw a lot of Assassin's Creed, and I was like, well, there's not a lot of tall things other than the pyramids and a few things like for you to climb and jump off of and do your typical Assassin's Creed type stuff. But I think this is a really different kind of Assassin's Creed. I think they've changed a lot of things, and probably for the better. I really like your Falcon that you can send off and have it scout for you. And it just seems like maybe the taking a year off might have helped. So yeah, I'll definitely be trying Assassin's Creed, even if I just rent it from like Redbox or something. But it looks pretty cool. The Crew 2 was a huge surprise for me, especially considering this isn't just a racing game. I mean, it is a racing game, but it's like cars and planes and boats, and you're out in the wilderness. It's like all these different things, and that's really cool. It's kind of like taking actually kind of felt this kind of sound kind of weird, but it kind of felt like Grand Theft Auto 5. Like how you have all these different things you can do, but like improved graphics. So it looked pretty cool. I liked it. I definitely might I don't know if I'll buy it or not, but maybe. But it looks pretty cool. South Park Fractured Buttholes finally got a release date coming October 17th. And I mean, it looks hilarious and awesome and great. So that's one of those games I figure pretty much everybody that I know is going to get. Now here's a game that really surprised me. Microsoft had put a lot of faith and stock into Sea of Thieves and really dropped the ball. I mean, fumbled on the 1 yard line, and apparently Ubisoft scooped it up and went in for the easy touchdown, because Skull and Bones is everything that Sea of Thieves should have been. Skull and Bones made Sea of Thieves look like Cutthroat Island, that old movie, that old shitty pirate movie. Yeah, it was phenomenal looking. It looked like the best stuff from Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you're on the ships, like expanded upon. That part of the game expanded upon. So I thought it looked great. I thought it looked really fun, and I look forward to definitely playing that. They showed off a game called Transference, which has Elijah Wood looking creepy as shit. It's like a live action mixed with this and that and VR or something. I don't know. Some kind of VR game. But it's not coming until next year. In fact, a lot of games are not coming until next year. That's kind of the theme so far. Unless you're Nintendo. Everybody else seems to be pushing everything out till next year. Just Dance 2018, whatever. It's just Dance. I don't care. But then we got another big surprise, and it was this game, Starlink Battle for Atlas. And I think this game's on several platforms, but on the Switch, they have these toys that they're making for it that you can actually combine and use on your Joy-Con grip. Like, it becomes your controller, and like you get the enhancements like you would with Amiibo and stuff in the game. Fascinating. I'll be interested to find out about pricing on these toys and all the different pieces and things you can do. It just, unexpected. I think the kids will love it. I think there's a lot of people that would love the collectability of it. So sounds interesting, and it's a space game, so pretty cool. They had an expansion for Steep where you do the Olympics, whatever. I don't know. It's not for me, but that's cool. And then of course they had Far Cry 5, and they showed just a little bit. They didn't show too much. They showed just enough to continue the interest in it, I guess, and talk about it. Gave the guy an excuse to cuss on stage. But there are some people that are opposed to Far Cry 5 because Far Cry 5 makes our people look like we're all in militias and we all want to take on the government and secede, which is the truth, but we don't want you exposing us in this way, you Canadian sons of bitches in Ubisoft. How dare you come out and expose us through a video game? It's like using our favorite thing against us. It's like making, I don't know, bacon toxic or something. And bacon, as we all know, is God's fruit. But I cannot believe that you would allow for such a thing to happen, because militia is our American responsibility. We got to do it. So yeah, some people are upset about Far Cry 5. And I joke. I mean, it looks fun. It looks cool. And they showed this thing with this dog. You have, and there's other games that have tried this in the past where you have like a little, I don't know, familiar, I don't know what word you want to use. You have a little dog helper. And this dog is actually badass. He's actually going and attacking and then fucking bringing you ammo and guns and stuff back. That's a badass dog. I already love this dog. Just barely seen anything about him. But, yeah. So, I'm really looking forward to Far Cry 5. I think it looks great, looks fun. It's a new take. And I can appreciate the balls. Because they're going to get harassed by these rednecks that are just like, how dare they tell us we're it's like, chill out, dude. It's fine for other nationalities to be the bad guy, but we're not the bad guys, we're the good guys. Yeah, come on, it's a game. Shut up. And they ended with this huge shocker at Ubisoft, and that was the reveal trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2, which, I have to be honest, I have never played the first one. When it was released back on the GameCube and everything, I never played it. Everybody told me I had to play it, but I just never did. And now, here's Beyond Good and Evil 2, looking like the Fifth Element, mixed with like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing going on. Just looks pretty cool. Looks really cool, actually. So, overall, up to this point, I felt like Ubisoft has basically won E3, and totally surprised me with some of their stuff, and did a really good job at their press conference. So I was pretty happy with what Ubisoft brought to the table. Of course, everybody has been waiting with bated breath to see what Sony was going to do. Microsoft had their press conference, and we all know how that went. So Sony goes. And some of the things people were hoping to see, they didn't get to see. Buddy of mine, your geeky tipster, was really looking forward to a Resident Evil 2 remake announcement. I guess he's really into that game, and he was hoping there was going to be some kind of announcement. I think there were some rumors going there might be, but that did not happen from Capcom. And of course, we didn't learn anything new about the Final Fantasy VII remake. That didn't happen. And we really didn't even see Last of Us 2, which we were expecting, but we didn't see anything. But we did see some cool stuff. There's some expansion for Horizon Zero Dawn that looks really cool. Days Gone showed a whole bunch of new stuff, and Days Gone is this zombie, like zombie survival game. I don't know how to. I mean, how do you describe the game? It's kind of like Last of Us, kind of, but you have these hordes of zombies, and you can make them do stuff. I don't know. It looks cool. It's a unique game, and I think it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. Monster Hunter World was revealed, and that looked cool. It's not really my thing, but a lot of people are really into that type of game, and it looked fantastic. The graphics are great. I mean, it looked really good. It looked like it, has a lot there, a lot of substance. Shadow of the Colossus, which is I don't know if it's a remake or if it's like a sequel or what. It's just called Shadow of the Colossus. It is a remake. Okay. So it's a remake of the old PlayStation 2 game, which was re-released a couple years ago, with like an HD remake, but it wasn't really a remake. This is a remake. This looks great. So I actually haven't played through it. I had it. I think I got it on PlayStation Plus at some point, but I haven't played through it. So I don't know. It might be tempting to wait and play the actual remake that they've got here. And then they showed a bunch of VR stuff. The Skyrim VR, which I totally didn't expect. Some different things with VR, and yeah, I don't really care about VR, but a lot of people do. Some different first-person shooter game, something like that, looked interesting. Kind of out of nowhere, they showed a Final Fantasy 15 fishing expansion or whatever, and I was just like, okay, whatever, I don't care. And then they showed God of War, and this is a very different God of War. This is nothing, I don't want to say it's nothing like the old God of Wars, but it's definitely its own game. It's not just another God of War. This is a very different God of War. They're taking things and really moving them to the next stage of this story. The story's definitely more mature. The gameplay looks a lot more mature. What's going on? I mean, it's definitely on another level. So I'm very, very, very interested in that. That's like a must buy. God of War looks great. Of course, that's not coming until next year. They showed off Detroit Become Human, and basically it was just a bunch of pre-rendered stuff. It wasn't really gameplay. But I really like the concept of what they're showing. It sounds like a really interesting story, but we didn't really see too much. Destiny 2 showed up again, and they announced a bunch of exclusive stuff for the PlayStation. Actual exclusive stuff for the PlayStation 4. And then they ended with a complete total exclusive, Spider-Man, which, looks fucking awesome. It looks great. It does have some, like, QuickTime stuff, but the way they do it looks really cool. Really like the mechanics of the game. The graphics are phenomenal. It just looks fun and very, very polished and well made, and just like really cool. My daughter had Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube, and I used to watch her swinging through the cities and everything, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But when I saw it on this, I was like, oh, shit. I mean, it looks cool. So, it kind of blends cinematics with gameplay kind of seamlessly. So, I was very impressed. I thought it looked really good. And I did like how, when it was mentioned that this is a real exclusive, it was kind of they took a little jab at Microsoft because of, everybody basically calling them out for their, whatever you want to call it, bullshit, their lies about all the supposed exclusives. I mean, okay, you want to debate me and say they didn't lie. Okay, sure. They obviously were trying to present all of what they were doing as it was exclusives, and none of it was. So, whatever you want to call it what you want. I'm not going to, parse words or whatever. It is what it is. So, at the end of the day, there's no price drop. at least not yet, that's been announced for the PS4 Pro. And a lot of people were expecting there to be a price drop announced. And I actually was not. I didn't expect it to happen. I think it's very possible that it could eventually. But my thinking on this had changed fairly recently, because once it became clear that the Xbox One Scorpio, which is now the Xbox One X, when it became clear that the price was going to be high for that system, $500 or more, and it ended up being $500, then I started to think, well, I don't think Sony needs to drop the price. And they don't. They actually have no reason to, because their 4K box is $100 less than Microsoft's. Okay? And the PS4 Slim and the Xbox One S are basically the same price. So there's really no reason for them to make an adjustment to price here. They have the larger install base. They have more exclusives. They have a cheaper Pro system, a cheaper 4K solution. No, it doesn't do 4K Blu-rays, if that's what you care about, but that's $100 difference in price. So Sony's kind of, I mean, they're so far ahead and so far out of the reach of Microsoft at this point that, there wasn't really a need to do any kind of a price reduction. I mean, there could be something that happens this holiday, but I don't know. I maybe a pack-in game or some special edition combo that gives you Destiny or gives you a Call of Duty or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't expect it. There's no reason for it. Sony's not in a position where they're like desperate. Microsoft, however, clearly has a problem, because it's starting to come out. News stories are starting to come out. I've seen articles popping up today. It's only been one day, and I'm already seeing these articles pop up where I saw one, Polygon put out one, I think, today. And it was like, Xbox One X is too expensive. Microsoft has a problem, and they do have a problem. Especially if you consider the fact that, I mean, we haven't seen Nintendo's press conference yet. We'll see that tomorrow, but we already know that the Switch is hot. The Switch is the new hot system with tons of games being released this year, not next year, and tons of exclusive titles that are only on Nintendo. We keep seeing more of them. Ubisoft showed us 2 of them, and Nintendo has obviously already released several and is continuing to do that. Mario Odyssey is going to be huge. It's going to be a beast. It's going to be a system seller yet again, on top of Zelda and Mario Kart and ARMS and Splatoon and Mario with Rabbids and this space game, all this other stuff. I mean, they're hitting their stride. This is going to be Nintendo's holiday, so I hope they're able to stock up and meet the demand, because it's going to be nuts. And if you look at the pricing, okay, I expect the PS4 Slim to sell well. I expect the Xbox One S to sell. It'll probably sell pretty well. But the Switch is going to sell extremely well. And the pricing there is $250 and $299. Okay? And then to get to the next level, to the PS4 Pro level, it's $399 unless something changes, which I doubt it. And then to get to that next level is $499 for the Xbox One X. And people say to me, and I've been criticized about this. People are like, "Well, what's the big deal if you're saying that it's a problem that the Xbox One S is so cheap?" And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. What I'm saying is the Xbox One S is half the price of the Xbox One X. And the Xbox One X is your new SKU. In fact, it's the SKU that's supposed to change things for you. It's supposed to make people feel like you're doing, like, you've brought a powerful console, not an underpowered console, which was the problem before. Now you've got the most powerful console. So there's a bright future now. And oh, the best experience can now be on Xbox. That's what you're selling to people. The potential for the best experience at the highest price. So that's the problem. When you consider somebody goes, even if you sell somebody on your platform and you say, okay, I've decided that Xbox is where I'm going to game, because there's games on Xbox that I like, and I know people that have Xbox, and I've decided to game on Xbox. So now here's my choice. I can buy an Xbox One X for $500 and still have to buy at least one game, okay? So with tax and everything, you're looking at like $600. But we'll just leave tax out of the equation. We'll just say $560, right? For one game. Or you can go to the Xbox One S, which is $250. So if you bought the Xbox One S for $250 and bought a game, now you've spent $310 versus $560, right? So if you add $250 worth of games, I mean, it becomes really hard to justify buying the Xbox One X when it's twice as expensive. Yes, the PS4 Pro is $100 more than the PS4 Slim. It's actually $150 more right now, and that's a problem. Actually, it's pretty high, but it's $150 instead of $250. There's a big difference there. And Sony doesn't have to win people, so what Sony's doing is actually very different than what Microsoft needs to do. What Microsoft needs to do is convince people this is where you need to game. This is where you need to game. Invest in our platform. Invest in what we're doing here so we can get a return on our investment and turn this thing around and make Xbox into a reputable, respected, successful brand again, you know? Because there's a lot of people that have lost respect for the brand, for the name Xbox. They feel like confidence, has been shaken. A lot of bad decisions, a lot of failures, a lot of canceled games that were supposed to come out, and delays upon delays, and bad games, and poor performance, okay? So the solution to a lot of that, a lot of people have seen, and rightfully so, I think, was the Xbox One X. But it's very expensive. It's the most expensive console on the market right now. $100 more than Sony's 4K solution, and twice the price of Microsoft's other console, which does almost exactly the same stuff. And the Switch is $300. So $300 versus $500. No matter how you slice that up, it's going to be a hard sell to parents looking for consoles for kids, or wives trying to buy something for their husband, or husbands for their wives, for that matter. It's going to be difficult to justify this system as the gift system, as the system that you give to somebody that needs a console, that still needs a console, okay? Because that's the other problem, is a lot of the people that would be buying the Xbox One X already have an Xbox. Maybe they have a One S, maybe they have a regular old, one. And now they've got to convince their parents or even themselves to invest $500 more in a system that's better, but how much better? That's the question. Is it worth $500? I look, like I was trying to say yesterday, I look at the games and I'm like, I like Forza 7, State of Decay 2. I like both of those games. Those are Xbox games that are also on Windows 10. And I can just buy those for my computer. And a lot of people could do that. And you can buy a decent video card for your computer if you don't have a good video card, and still spend way less than $500. This myth that you have to spend $800 on a video card, it's not true. I mean, I bought my Radeon 390X last summer, and it wasn't even $400. Okay, and now like they have even better pricing, and there's all kinds of solutions to this. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's difficult to justify the Xbox One X. It's too expensive. It's a problem. And tomorrow, when Nintendo does their press conference, people are going to be talking about Nintendo as the last big conference that they saw at E3. Nintendo's very smart to go after Sony and Microsoft. I mean, once again, Microsoft goes first, and I don't understand why. I don't. Gives Sony an opportunity to respond to them, and leaves Nintendo in a position to be the last big system that you see going out of E3 to carry forward that message and that momentum, into the summer and then the holiday season. So I think people are going to be really excited about Nintendo. Hope we may see some more surprises from Nintendo. I really don't know. But even if we don't, even if we just see a whole lot of Mario Odyssey and Splatoon, and what we've already seen, and then a few other things, I think Nintendo's going to kill this holiday season. I think the Switch is going to be very successful, especially when you consider that a lot of those titles that Microsoft and Sony talked about so much are actually not coming out until 2018. So, yeah. It's been an interesting conference. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching, and very concerned for Microsoft. Very concerned. I have a bad feeling about this holiday season as far as the Xbox One X. I think the S could do okay. I think the S could be fine, especially if they drop that price down to $199 like I had seen reported a couple days ago. If they do end up doing that, or they pack in a game or two or something, the Xbox One S could do well. I mean, I might get one if you give me a reason. I have a bunch of digital games on that platform, and I have a bunch of 360 games in backwards compatibility, which, I have a 360, so I don't need it. But, give me a reason, Microsoft. Give me a reason to own your system. Why am I buying your system? Why? Give me a reason. I don't know. The most powerful system? Well, yeah, but the most powerful system is the PC, right? Especially if you take $500 and put it into your computer, if you already have a computer. Or if you're smart and do some, buy some used parts or do something, like that. I don't know. It's been an interesting conference, so we'll see how Nintendo does tomorrow. Those are just my thoughts. What do you think? Did you watch all this stuff? Have you been keeping up with everything, with all these demonstrations and different games that they've showed off? Or do you care about any of this? I don't know. Do you disagree with me? Do you think Microsoft is in, they're smooth sailing, they got this figured out? Sony, totally lost, I don't know. I'm not saying Sony had a great press conference, but they didn't have to. They weren't in danger of anything. They're doing fine. Whether the PS4 Pro outsells the Xbox One X is not going to affect their overall profit margins and user base. The Pro's been out for months. They've gotten past that initial hurdle. And Xbox One X has a pretty steep mountain to climb. So that's it for me. More videos coming soon. Be sure to tune into Game Rambling this Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Time, where Picky Old Gamer and I will pick all of this apart and talk about all the different games that we liked and the ones we didn't like, and share our thoughts about all the companies and what we think is in store for the future, or at least what we think could be. Tune into that, Game Rambling, 5 p.m. Sunday. and we'll do that then. So anyway, that's it for now. More videos coming soon. I am Cyrus, and this is Epically Geeky Gaming. Bye-bye.